So today, lads, we're going to talk about the Indiana Fever, what they need to do. But we have to do that, we have to talk about some other teams. We have to talk about some other teams. And I don't know if it was written off, if it's written off now. I don't know if the season is written off. And if the Fever don't do anything, I mean this when I say this, right off the season. Right off the season. With Demiris Dantas going away, they don't seem to want to play Michaela Timpson, who's clearly not going to be ready because she hasn't played. Bree Turner is very bad at basketball. Sydney Colson is not very good at basketball. And Dewana Bonner has been away from the team, and nobody exactly knows whether or not they even qualify for a hardship contract. Like, on Thursday, I kid you not, on Thursday, we are 4 days away from the Indiana Fever going out with 9 healthy players, and 3 of them being Sydney Colson, Bree Turner, and Michaela Timpson. We are very close to seeing the Indiana Fever going out with Sophie Cunningham as their only competent bench player. Their only bench player that would see the floor for not only the Fever, but for any team in the WNBA. Let's not forget, Bree Turner was getting DMPs for the awful Chicago Sky last year. So that's the thing. But I'm watching this game right here, and look, the Minnesota Lynx are down by a point. But the best player for the Minnesota Lynx in the first half was, and again, I haven't really been focused on the third quarter because I was prepping what to do for this video, was Maria Klindikova. I made a video about her already. So they lose Nafisa Collier. But coming into this season, they lost Dorka Juhas. But then they got Jessica Shepard back, who's the best bench big in the W. They get her back. And then they brought in Badian as well. And Badian was not up to scratch. So you know what they did when they brought in a player that wasn't good enough? They got rid of her and they brought in Klindikova. In the first half alone, Maria had 7 points. So like right now she has got, is it 9 points? Right now she has got 9 points, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 6 rebounds. And by the way, she is a +9 on the floor in a game they're losing. The best player on their team has been Maria Klindikova in this game. She has been the best player on the Lynx. And if you want to just see again, some first half footage from her. Some first half footage of her swatting De'Erica Hamby. Getting an offensive rebound. Finding Courtney Williams there for the assist. Tracking back down on defense. Forcing a stop. Getting the ball at the 3-point line. Shooting it with ease. She's about 6'5" as well. She's 6'5". She can play inside. She's big. She finishes. She passes well. She shoots the ball. And like again, I'm not saying that she is specifically the player, but she is a fit for this team. And another team is the Phoenix Mercury. The Phoenix Mercury have, if you guys don't know, the Phoenix Mercury have cut multiple players. They've brought in players. They've cut players. They've done a bunch of things. They just brought in a whole bunch of players to fit Alyssa Thomas. So Alyssa Thomas realistically needs shooters. She needs runners. She needs both of them. She needs shooters and she needs runners. And that is realistically what Alyssa Thomas needs. She needs shooters. She needs runners. And if we're being honest, this is all they signed. They signed tall, lengthy shooter, Kitty Alexa. Lengthy point guard shooter, Monica Cole-McCanny. Tall, mobile shooter, Catherine Westbelt. Shooter, Satu Sabali. Kat Copper was already there. Kalani Brown was just a throw-in a trade. She doesn't play much in big games. Sammy Whitcomb, yeah, maybe not the athleticism, but vet presence, shooter. Natasha Mack was already there. Musa, big body, pretty okay shooter. I'll give Musa that, a pretty okay shooter. And look, if you guys are even watching this game right here, they are horrendous when Elisa Peely. Like, Elisa Peely's been poor in the game, but like their starters are not doing well, other than Klindikova. Because she fits what the Lynx does. And I'm not saying Klindikova is a player that the Fever should get, by any means. But I am saying the Fever should look at Marianne Badian. Or is Marianne Badian? Badian, who the Lynx just left. She is mobile, she's 6'4", she plays defense, she runs the floor well, and she shoots the ball. She is a rotational piece in this team. She is better than Demiris Dantas. She's better than Dantas. And the Indiana Fever, though, they are stuck. Whereas you're looking at the Lynx, who are just constantly trying to improve on players, who have been ruthless with some of the players they brought in, who've been ruthless with players that were there in other years, the players that re-signed. The Mercury cut Celeste Taylor before she even was hurt. Mercury cut Celeste Taylor. They cut a player who they brought in last year and chose to sign with that team. So people are like, oh, but like, what about free agents going to the Indiana Fever? I'm sorry. Any free agent that doesn't want to go to the Fever because they might cut the end of the bench player is a player I don't want. Because the only players that would be in fear of getting cut are end of the bench players, and I could not give a damn who the Fever have off the end of the bench. I actually don't. Because the Phoenix Mercury, players played their way into the rotation. Even give me Musa. And Lexi Hell didn't even play. Lexi Held, again, 5'10", mobile shooter, hustles. The Indiana Fever signed a bunch of old players who, again, just want to get their Instagram followers up, it seems. And the effort level is just not there. The effort level, I'm not even going to say the effort level because I don't know if they have it in them. I don't know if these players have it in them to play Caitlin Clark's style. And by the way, Caitlin Clark stinks when she's not playing fast. And we can be honest. Like if the team is not playing fast, Caitlin Clark either needs to go nuclear or she's a liability. When the team is playing fast, Caitlin Clark is the best point guard in the WNBA, whether or not she's shooting well. But everyone's like, oh, Caitlin's a shooter. When she shoots badly, she has bad games. I'm like, what? Are people have goldfish brains? Last year, Caitlin Clark, by the way, if we can't forget this. The month of July, which was when Caitlin Clark got robbed for Player of the Month when she was setting all the assist record, she was shooting horrendous. Like, she shot the ball terribly. And that's what everyone's saying. It was like, oh, Caitlin's just a passer. Remember the swoops thing? Oh, Caitlin's only a passer. She's not really scoring well. She's not shooting well. She's inefficient. But she's just passing well. So Caitlin went through a slump last year, but was still playing her way towards first team All WNBA in her slump. And now, when Caitlin's in a slump, she's a bad player. She is a net negative because of the pieces put around her. Like, how did they go from a team that wasn't particularly fast and get slower? How did they get slower? Like, if you swapped Alyssa Thomas and you gave Caitlin Clark, let's say you keep her Aaliyah, swap Alyssa Thomas with Aaliyah, and you gave Caitlin, even without Satu, you keep Aaliyah, even if you keep Lexi Hull, and you put beside Aaliyah Boston, Catherine Westbeld. And I don't think Catherine Westbeld's anything spectacular. There's a reason she wasn't in the league, but she fits. If you put in Catherine Westbeld, and then instead of Kelsey Mitchell at the 2, you put in the sniper that is Kitty Alexa. You put in the 6'1" good defending sniper that is Kitty Alexa at the 2. Lexi Hull's there at the 3. At the 4, you've got Kat Westbeld. And at the 5, you've got Leah Boston. I have just replaced a Supermax and a max contract player with 2 minimum contract 29-year-old rookies, and the team improves because of fit. Not saying any of these players are better, but because of fit. Temi would make this team infinitely better. They let her go. And it's annoying watching other teams in the WNBA find gems, and the Indiana Fever, I assume their scouting was they logged on to NBA 2K, they sorted by max rating, and whatever free agents had the max rating, they contacted them. They literally, it is like NBA 2K scouting, where you just sort by overall, and you just sign the players that are the top overalls. You don't care what age they are or anything. It's like when you're like, when you're like 14 years old, and you just get players that are top ratings, and you don't care about their potential, you don't care they're going to decline soon. You just sign the players on top ratings and hope that by just putting a whole bunch of high-rated players in, you're going to win the championship. That seems like what it was. And look, I fell for the hype. The Indiana Fever had a marketing offseason. They signed players based on marketing. They signed players based on this now you know thing. They signed big names because, let's be real, if the Indiana Fever had scouted all over the world and found hidden gems, had found athletic shooters, had found all of these gems, they wouldn't have been able to flex on social media that, oh, we signed these top-tier free agents. They wouldn't have been able to flex that, oh, all the free agents want to come here because we did the best in free agency. They wouldn't have been able to flex that. But now they have a chance to make up for it. They have a chance. And I don't think that this is going to change their season. Like, I'm riding off the Indiana Fever season. I'm riding off the season. I think the Indiana Fever are riding off the season as well. But the Indiana Fever they need, and I mean this when I say the word need, I mean need. Unless they do this, you might as well just say they're not a serious basketball team. Not only are they not contenders, they're not a serious basketball team. You need to cut Bree Turner. It is unacceptable that a contender has a non-max contract player who has one point guard, and I'm not considering Sidney Colson as anything other than a locker room comedian. They have one point guard, and they have a veteran player who has no potential, who brings nothing, who doesn't shoot the ball, who doesn't pass the ball, who doesn't barely even plays defense anymore. They have a player like this on their roster when they can either cut her and sign a point guard. They can cut her, sign a big. They can try to find scout bigs, look overseas, watch Eurobasket. That's about to end. See the teams that are getting knocked out. You can cut her and scout a big and replace her directly. Or you can cut her and give her Timpson's minutes. But we have 2 0-minute bench players on a team that is already lacking in depth, and one of them's in their 30s. Now, yeah, if they want to be serious, they have to do it. If Bree Turner ends the season with the Fever, I mean this when I say this. If you are a Fever fan and Bree Turner ends the season with the team, like I still think the team could go and could be okay. But don't question any of the players. Don't question the team's ability to win on the floor, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. The front office does not, as much as they affect who's on the floor, they don't affect what's on the floor. If Bree Turner ends the season on this team, this front office has lied to everyone. This front office is a fraud. If she ends the season on this team, I don't mean she needs to be cut tomorrow. I don't mean she needs to be cut in a week or two. Again, she's one of the worst players in the WNBA, and she was one of the worst players in the WNBA last year. So if the Indiana Fever are serious about winning a championship, she's got to go. She's got to go. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's got to go. And that's not a knock on her. At the end of the day, it's sports. Sports is a business. And I'm sorry, if the Indiana Fever are going for vibes, are going for are trying to not care about anything other than vibes, then that's fine. Vibes don't win you playoff series. Vibes might get you a Commissioner's Cup if Caitlin Clark goes nuclear. Vibes got them into the position they're in right now because let's be real, the New York Liberty did not have Jonquel Jones or Leonie Phoebish. They got to the Commissioner's Cup final because the New York Liberty did not have 2 starters. It's as simple as that. The Liberty did not have 2 starters, and the Liberty obviously losing Jonquel Jones. They're going to be struggling a little bit. I don't know what stories with Fee with the Lynx, but again, the Lynx will spawn players in. You better believe if the New York Liberty, I don't think you can get a hardship player based on player going to Eurobasket, but if they end up getting if they end up bringing in a hardship player, if you are the Liberty, you just know that hardship player is going to fit in the system. That hardship player is you're going to know what that hardship player is going to do. The hardship player is going to, what they bring, and they're going to bring something positive to the team. But for the Indiana Fever, they did well when it came to Ari McDonald, I guess. But again, they looked into Ari McDonald because there's no reason she shouldn't be on a roster. And 2, they just signed the biggest name hardship player, and they got lucky it worked out. They were lucky it worked out because the way Ari McDonald played with the Sparks, I didn't think it was going to work out. But that's the video. And it becomes even more obvious. And people keep going at me on Twitter being like, oh, you're saying this after one bad game. If you look, I have been tweeting for a month about how the Phoenix Mercury, the Lynx, and the Liberty are so far ahead. That these are ruthless organizations. That these are organizations that know what they're doing. These are organizations that care more about a championship than the feelings of the last player at the end of their bench. Everyone knows teams have cut somebody. The Atlanta Dream have cut somebody. Every team, as far as I'm aware, top team, has cut somebody other than the Seattle Storm, who traded Leroux. The top 5 teams in the WNBA have all made an in-season trade or cut. Even the Golden State Valkyries cut somebody. Even the Valkyries cut somebody mid-season and are going to bring back a Meher for the rest of the year. Even the Valkyries cut someone mid-season. So yeah, that's the video. Spineless organizations go nowhere. And we get to see. And again, look, the on the court, the players they have are fine. I think they're still going to be. I think the Fever still have the potential to be a good team. I think they still have the potential to get maybe home court advantage, and worst case scenario, come fifth and face off against maybe the Atlanta Dream. And I think in a best of three, they can beat the Dream. But at the end of the day, organizations need to be ruthless. And so far, the only thing we say about the Fever is they've been spineless.